everybody. This is Wendy Parman with Chicago Film News. Welcome. I am here with the lovely ladies of Mescla Media Collective. I'm so excited to have you all here. Let's get started with Colette. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself, introduce yourself?
Thank you for having us. First of all, my name is Colette Gunim, and I am a documentary filmmaker, and I also am the co-founder of Mescla Media Collective.
And can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into film?
Sure. So my father was actually a wedding videographer, so I was around cameras all my life, but I never knew I wanted to go into film until after I graduated college. And I worked at a film festival because I was asked to be a volunteer, and I was just amazed by the different perspectives and social issues that were able to be conveyed through film. So I made my own film. I lived in Egypt for 2 years, working on a film on sexual harassment in Cairo. And then I came back to the US, and now I'm working on my first feature-length film.
Ramona, how about you tell us about yourself and just introduce yourself?
I'm Ramona Pozak. I'm also a documentary filmmaker, as well as an actress and writer. I decided that I wanted to get into documentary filmmaking probably about 4 years ago. I went back to school to my master's.
Imani, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? I hope I said your name right.
Yes, you did. I was at the Chicago International Film Festival, just chatting up with someone else, and then was getting ready to go volunteer. And this was back in fall of last year. This bubbly face just comes up to me, and it was Colette, and she's like, I heard you talking about film. I'm in this group, it's called Mescla. I founded it. I hope she's okay with me telling this story. And I'd really been wanting something like that, starting to get into film in Chicago, and just such a great time. So that's a little bit about how I got involved with the group.
So my name is Lena. I also work in narrative, but I also find myself doing a lot of nonfiction and journalism work. My main motivation is storytelling. If you're a woman of color in Chicago and you breathe the word film, you're just bound to find yourself a part of this collective in some capacity, even just virtually through social media. And I think that energy of connectivity is really contagious.
Colette, can you tell us a little bit how this all got started and what the origins of the collective are a little bit?
So we started it back in 2017 after really having difficulty finding other women of color and non-binary filmmakers to work with, both in our own projects, but then also to hire. A friend and I decided to create an event at Cinespace, which is the production hub in Chicago. We said it's for women of color and non-binary filmmakers of color, and over 70 women showed up to that. Wow. So we're like, holy cow, this is something that is definitely needed, and how does this not exist already? So since then, we made a Facebook group that now has around 520 members, and we host monthly meetups to stay accountable with one another. We have educational workshops that are quarterly, and of course now with COVID, we've made everything go virtual, but it's still active and very robust, and the Facebook group has sort of become a hub for being able to share advice, but also share events, share resources, and also find a lot of freelance work and internships and jobs too. So
wow, that's exciting. So tell us a little bit more, maybe who would like to talk a little bit about what some of the individual things that you've gotten out of being a part of this collective?
I had been freelancing for about a year, and I found that it was so difficult for me to remain connected to any sort of body. I felt like I was very much in it alone, because also the sets that I were on were generally white male dominated, or just, I was very fortunate to work on a lot of sets of color as well, but I didn't really feel like I was a part of a unit for a while. And I think that in freelancing, I think that so much of what I've gotten out of Mesla is to feel like I'm a part of something, even though not all of my work is directly connected to Mesla, and even though Mesla isn't pervasive in every space that I work in, I feel like I'm representing and functioning as a part of that collective, whether or not that is my title. And I think having that unifying understanding of the community that I identify with and feel a part of has really helped me holistically transition in, feel more empowered transitioning into this industry, and to take on more opportunities and to feel more supported.
About the challenges now with the quarantine, what have you been doing for your members, or what kinds of different things are happening now for you all?
I was personally getting some messages back and forth from certain members that were having really severe difficulties around the COVID pandemic, especially seeing as we're already coming from some of the most vulnerable communities in the city that are directly affected by COVID, plus losing all of our incomes as freelance filmmakers. It's very, very hard for many filmmakers. So we decided to put out a formal survey to really try to understand what the impact was and try to measure it. And the results that we received were staggering. Over 60% of the members had lost all of their sources of income. And something that we didn't know is that a fourth have dependents, either people that they have children or that they're just taking care of as caregivers. So from there, we knew that we needed to do something. So we decided to create a GoFundMe in order to raise, our goal is $15,000 for giving out $500 micro grants to Mescla members that are in the most need. So we're in the middle of it right now, and we have a week and a half left where we are raising funds. And it's been great to see how the Chicago community has really stepped up to really support it and promote it and donate. But of course, we still need more funds in order to really make a dent in the really difficult situation that a lot of Mescla members are having right now.
So, well, what's next for Mescla members, or what do you see on the horizon?
Big vision for Mescla is that Chicago becomes the central hub, but that there are branches of Mescla throughout the U.S. in places that really need these types of organizations that are lifting up these underrepresented voices. Whether it be in Detroit or Milwaukee, starting in the Midwest and then growing further. That is the dream for Mescla, and to be able to really support, not just through programming and things like that, but even be able to financially, and having a sort of grant program that can go out to women of color filmmakers as well.
If you could travel anywhere right now, where would you go?
Well, as I mentioned, I have a deep love for Egypt, so I am ready to go back. Lena's Egyptian also.
I was also
so
going
I don't
to
know
say
if she's in.